Alright boys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sure you guys have been noticing that the PGR content has been slowing down. It's none of you guys' fault or anything, don't worry. The leader of the shoe gang ain't blaming y'all, but I am blaming someone. Mainly the people who made the game, but even then, I can't exactly go out of my way to overly blame them because I have no idea what goes on behind closed doors. I don't know exactly how it is that Kuro Games operates, but one thing I am certain of is that regardless of what's going on, I'm well within my rights to vent out my frustrations about the game, and why if Wuthering Waves fails, I am never going to be making PGR content ever again. Don't get me wrong, deep down, I love the characters in PGR, and love the game when it actually functions properly, but just not for a long period of time. I put a lot of time, effort, and practice into that game, only to be met with, well, an immense feeling of disappointment. Making this video will break my heart, but this needs to be said. Now, first things first, I'm only going to be referring to the global version of PGR. I hear that the Taiwanese version, the Chinese version is well and good, but even then, I'm not exactly looking forward to waiting a year and a half for actual good content for the game to come out. Global PGR is dead as all hell. And by the time that good content comes out, I'm going to be playing other games like Wuthering Waves and newer games and DLCs coming out from my favorite games in the future. So you can take this video with a grain of salt if you want to, but this is just my honest opinion. Alright guys, so let's say you hear about a really nice car, right? A bunch of people tell you that it's underrated as all fuck. And you decide, hey, I'm getting kind of bored of this car I'm driving right now. There's not too many problems, but I might as well check out this new car. So you go down the road to this new place with the car and you see the car finally for the first time. And at first, you're not exactly impressed. Okay, well, at first you think it's cool. You think it's fine, but eventually you start to notice a lot of things that bother you about the car. As you drive, there's a goddamn instantaneous check engine light. There's a whole bunch of tiny scratches and a whole bunch of little bumps on the vehicle you didn't notice at first, but now that you've seen it, you can't look past it. The paint job isn't great. There's patches of old chip paint all over the car, whereas other parts of the car are completely and utterly polished and clean. The car is fun to drive for a little while, but you're expecting a bit more. You want the car for far more than just getting you from point A to point B. You want your car to look nice, feel nice to drive, not have to worry about the car malfunctioning so you can actually get to your destination. To me, that's punishing Grey Raven. When I first heard about the game, I was in awe at how cool it sounded. I saw videos talking about how absolutely amazing the game was, and gameplay videos of bosses that made the game look so outstandingly good. And I made the mistake of going in with extremely high hopes last year. I had never heard of Kuro Games from that point, not a single advert peep, not even a cutscene from the game as a supposed good gacha, which I found kinda odd. Now, before I even get into the glitches and the end game, let's go ahead and actually talk about early game. It's been a long time since I had the early game experience, so I invited one of my best homies to share his slightly more refreshed experience on the early game. So I'ma hand this off to my goat Smack-san.
Hey Shu, I appreciate you having me on. The new game experience for players in a gacha game should be the most memorable and enjoyable experience. You start off learning about this new world, learning about these characters you meet along the way, learn about said story, while also navigating through select UIs and familiarizing yourself with the game in general and all of its content provided. When looking back at some of my favorite gacha games, I've been met with comforting and joyful memories. With Punishing Grey Raven, that's not quite the case though. In fact, that's the total opposite. These are just my experiences, so they could be different from those who played the game or plan on playing Punishing Grey Raven. I will note though that most of my takes are backed with a lot of players. Early game simply is the worst. I was warned that if you want to see the fruition of what PGR can provide to you, you will have to endure a gruesome and horrible early game. You are met with pretty daunting UI that doesn't quite do a good job at explaining what you're looking at, horrible story early on that's pacing is very slow and not voiced, as well as the battle instances are quite similar, fighting the same kind of robots with no difficulty to them at all. Before you can even get to the good stuff that PGR provides, you have to endure countless hours before that. This game simply isn't early game friendly.
And to be quite honest, early game is gonna be the least of your worries because, well, hold up. Before I even get ahead of myself, allow me to preface by saying this. I don't mind if a game has glitches here and there, that's perfectly fine. Hell, I don't mind if it has one, maybe two game-breaking glitches. As long as it gets fixed within a reasonable time, that's a-okay to me. But PGR has a lot of permanent glitches that not only just ruin how the game looks, which doubles for ruining the immersion, but game-breaking bugs that still persist to this day, despite this game being as old as it is. Now, I'm not saying this game is fucking ancient or nothing like that, but this game has been alive long enough for the devs to just say, yeah, we definitely gotta hurry up and fix this bullshit. Remember the analogy I made about the car having countless scratches? See, if a game has one consistent glitch that isn't super noticeable, or if a car has a tiny scratch in a hard to see place, then that's fine. Honestly, might even go your whole car ownership / game experience without even noticing the scratch or glitch. But when the game is riddled with them, it becomes a glaring problem where I sit there and ask myself, alright, where does it end? From chunks of various maps disappearing, to bosses completely glitching out to incompletion, all the way to invisible barriers, disappearing assets, costing you runs in certain game modes because your character gets stuck, and yes, even enemies having the ability to somehow instantaneously fucking time skip in front of your face and hit you on some bullshit. This game gets immense praise for its combat, and when it's good, it's damn good. But it's incredibly difficult to enjoy some of these hard boss fights people choose to put themselves through when sometimes you'll have to completely restart a run or do a recording over for a run because the glitches remain so inconsistent. I have recorded numerous boss fights where I'm able to defeat bosses at 12k battle power difficulty without using my movement keys. A main culprit responsible for killing the absolute most of my recordings is the twins. From glitching so hard that one of them despawns, to one of them completely stopping in all attacks and movements, to the game ruining your audio in and out of the boss fight, to the game completely shredding the music and sound effects all the way back to your menu. How to fix it? Restart the game. Can you believe it? In order to fix one of those glitches, you have to restart the game. Incredible. We love it here. This game has the formula to be absolutely perfect, and hey, hold up. What's going on with the sci-fi action games having all the right shit and failing to deliver on some of them, or every single one of them? Cyberpunk on first release, Anthem on first release, sections of PGR, Tower of Fantasy. We better not see no bullshit come Wuthering Waves. I swear to God. Olden fantasy and colorful fantasy, hell even dark fantasy genre is eating good right now. What about us sci-fi lovers? I can only replay the Mass Effect series 50 million times over. Look, anyway, I'm getting off track. This last segment is gonna be me talking with my boy Smack, as you heard him in the video. And oh, by the way, before I continue on, go subscribe and give a follow to my boy if you haven't. If you like my content, you'll sure as shit love his, probably even better. Anyways, let's move on. Smack and I are going to be just discussing the game in general and how we both feel about each stage of the game's life and our account life as we were playing the game, experiencing the levels, and experiencing the characters. Alright, so PGR, guys. So Smack, overall, how we feeling about the game?
I stopped playing it, truthfully. I think like early on, like I went through its, early stages with all the crap, the story being boo-boo, UI is kind of crazy. I went through with that and I saw a little bit of a game that could be good, but the furthermore I played to it, it's just not a good game. There's just so many games out there that can provide similar experiences that just do it way better. So I just kind of stopped playing the game, looking forward to Wuthering Waves. And hopefully we don't see similar issues with Wuthering Waves. It looks like they're putting a little bit more effort and more money into the game. So I don't know. We'll see with Wuthering Waves. Hopefully that's their second stand. Hopefully they do a good job with it. But regarding PGR, no, I kind of stopped.
Yeah, that's. I've been playing PGR less and less because of like all of the collective bullshit that the game's got. And like, I like my friends, like literally, I listen to people like Kasumi and Misa talk about how like, oh yeah, I've been making account after account after account on these other servers and it's so much better and it's so cool. Look at all these characters. I'm just sitting here like, damn, in order for you to enjoy the game, you gotta bum an account so that you can like actually play on a separate server, a foreign server. Like,
Right.
bro, like honestly, I don't like stuff like that. Like all power to them for doing that. But I don't think in order to enjoy a game's content, you would have to do that, Like, I understand if, like, Global was already good and they're just doing it because they're curious, but they're legit doing it because Global just has no content to do at all.
100%.
Like, even their Babel Tower, I was told, is a temporary addition to the game. It's not a permanent addition. Yes, it's not a permanent addition. And I have no idea the information on the whole flashy, taunting the bosses bullshit. I don't know if that's gonna be permanent or not, but dude, I think I might just be done with PGR, at least making content on it. No, I definitely am.
I mean, with that being said, maybe I swing back around in a year or two time when we finally start seeing the good parts of the game from, other servers. We are a year behind, and apparently all the good stuff is a year ahead of us. So maybe I swing back around within a year's time. But I feel like having that time gap within different servers can play a negative impact on certain servers. I think, like, imagine if we had all the content that these other servers had on PGR. Imagine how much better global PGR would be. It just kind of sucks that they started doing all their good shit when we can't even access it. So maybe I swing back around in a year or two time. We'll see. I don't know, really, honestly.
I'm gonna keep it the fattest stack. In a year and a half from now, I'm probably gonna forget to even check back into PGR. I'ma just be real. I'ma be real, dude. If I come back and it's like, I see all these cool characters, like, oh, content, characters, okay, that's fine, I guess. Let's see, the new game modes. Oh, this is a new game mode. Oh, it's temporary? Oh, so basically what you're saying is the gameplay is gonna go back to global, but we just have cooler characters. Okay, got it. That's how it feels to me. I just hope if Wuthering Waves comes out and then there's a glitch, unlike how they did with PGR, they just never fucking fix it. I swear, I'm gonna make a video roasting Wuthering Waves so fucking hard to the point Cruel Games gonna be like, yeah, we gotta blacklist this motherfucker. We we can't be associated with them.
I don't know. Just from effort standpoint, Wuthering Waves does look like they're gonna be doing a lot better than PGR. It looks like PGR will just be their shadow forever. It'll be just that game that they just kind of gave up on. I don't know. I think Wuthering Waves has a good shot, but I feel like the big thing with Kuro here is if they fail to give us a good product within Wuthering Waves, I feel like their company's just going to be cooked. To be honest, they're just forever going to be known about this company that makes very mid games.
Yeah, a company that has seemingly has potential but fails to deliver on almost all fronts except for one thing: cool looking combat. Like, dude, cool looking combat can't solely carry your game forever, guys.
I think it's a good incentive. I think if PGR was a good game, I could only imagine where all those Genshin refugees would have went to. Like, just imagine. And it just really goes to show that you can't just incentivize it just being a hardcore game where hardcore players can go. You really have to give out a good product with it.
Because even if your hardcore players are struggling with some of the glitches for your hardcore content, even they are gonna leave, and that's a big problem. I think a good conclusion, a good statement to describe PGR is PGR isn't a great game. PGR is almost a good game. It has good aspects, but overall, if you look at PGR on paper, I think that it might genuinely just be a bad game with cool stuff attached to it.
I think that's a great way of describing it, honestly. Truthfully, that's a great way of describing it.
Yeah.
It's tough. The potential you see compared to what you get, it's tough. It's like a Genshin times 10. It's tough, but it's just a pill we gotta swallow.
Man, and it hurts a lot because I genuinely loved playing the game, and I used to play this shit every day, because there are a lot of people that only just started playing the game like for like, you know, Crimson Weave, and then they leave afterward, and that's fine, you know, because like obviously they probably just didn't like the rest of the game. They only came for the character. You know, when I like found out about Crimson Weave, I've been playing for like since last year, almost a year now. I've been playing the game, and I still was playing even after the Crimson Weave banner left. And I'm just like, over time, a bunch of just negative opinions was just building up, and I'm gonna be real, not even like Crimson Weave can save it for me to continue to play it consistently.
Yeah, I mean, and the tragic part is, if they were to actually just fix their game just a little bit more, or, you know, give us some more content, permanent content, to give us stuff to do, the game would have a revival, because we already seen with Crimson Weave how much people are coming to the game. And we see how many Wuthering Waves enjoyers looking into Curl and looking into their past games, giving it a try. But with that bad of an early game, you can't retain any new players, so it's just kind of a waste, honestly.
And it'll give people mixed feelings. They'll be like, because people will think, oh, you know, this game doesn't seem that good. The early game seems pretty bad. You know, I'm actually looking forward to Wuthering Waves. It's probably going to improve on all these things a million times better. And then it's going to have another opinion forming where it's like, oh, damn, this game's kind of bad. You know, the early game sucks so much. I'm probably not going to give Wuthering Waves a try, because it's probably just going to be a repeat of that, but just a bigger game, you know? And yeah. In conclusion, if Crimson Weave's not in Wuthering Waves, I'm gonna quit. no, I'm playing around, but I hope Wuthering Waves is good. You know,
it's right around the corner. Almost a month out. It's gonna be nice. Are you planning on playing Wuthering Waves like hardcore? Are you gonna give it like a really good shot?
Oh yeah. That's what I do. Like when Tower Fantasy dropped, I played it for like almost a year, and then I formed like a genuine opinion on how they did they made a lot of the right choices, but executed nothing right. So yeah, that game fucking sucks.
You know what? The good thing that Curl has is that it listens to feedback. So, hey, if they can do that, doesn't matter how scuffed, you know, launches. If they can show that they're willing to listen to the player base and fix their game, hey, I think you know, we'll have a good game on our hands just within time.
I agree. If I stuck around with Cyberpunk for that long and waited for it to get good, and it did get good eventually, I can do the same for Wuthering Waves. Why not? Thanks for pulling up again, by the way. Yeah, 100%. I fucking love talking about these things with you and a couple other people. So yeah,
facts. It's nice to hear other people's opinions, because I think when me and you talk, I love how it's just not sugar coated. I like you just say, oh yeah, I agree. No, if you truly disagree with me, let's talk about it and see why. And sometimes I do change my opinion on something, so it's great having conversations with you.
Yeah, like literally, I fucking was like, yeah, nah. Like, you know, since our last conversation, you know, I was like, you know, really wanting to hold on to that narrative of holding on to hope for Wuthering Waves. But at this point, I'm just like, going back to that conversation, I'm just like, yeah, nah, Smack deadass has a point. This game probably gonna come out burnt, crisp, fucking disgusting game. Not even polished, dude. It's sad, but it's true, man. It's true.
We're just gonna have to cope. We're gonna have to cope and hope.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's that. All right, man. Well,
appreciate you having me on, though.
Of course. Thank you, man.
Yeah, peace, bro.
Peace out, man. But yeah, guys, that was basically just it. You know, I was a little bit apprehensive at first when the idea of making this video had first popped up into my mind, but I'm gonna be real, the longer I was writing things out and editing things and setting things up, I was getting real excited to release this video, because it had gotten to a point where I realized the reason why I was so excited about releasing this video was because it genuinely felt like shackles was coming off of me. One of those guys where it's like, yeah, you know, we could rely on some Punishing Gray Raven content from him, but I don't know if that'll be the case anymore. Now, it's not that I don't know if that'll be the case. That's definitely not the case. You know, I really do hope Wuthering Waves is good, because if Wuthering Waves is not good, I'm not coming back to PGR, guys. I'm sorry. I'll still play it from time to time. My boy Mimic, you know, he still loves the game. He does, you know, co-op stuff. I'll join on his co-op on stream, you know, just have fun with him, or even just play with him, even if he's, you know, not streaming. So, yeah, guys, I really do appreciate you guys, you know, stopping by to watch the video. And, you know, I just want you guys to just take care and peace, man. Enjoy your games. All of your games. Best you can.